Hello everyone! Today I'm going to record a tutorial for beginners to learn how to crochet a rose bouquet blanket. Here I'll demonstrate with the smaller one. If you can make the small one, you can definitely make the larger one too. The main part only has 7 rounds with 12 roses, which can be used as coasters. I'll also teach you how to increase stitches so that the lines stay straight and don't spiral. You don't need to count the stitches for each group. It's simple and easy to remember. When rolled together, it becomes a rose bouquet. When not in use, it can be placed in a small basket, turning it into a little flower basket. It also makes a beautiful decorative piece. Let's take a look at how to crochet it now. Here we are using Susan's Family Combed Cotton and Acrylic Fiber Hand Knitting Yarn. I'll demonstrate with a 2.0mm crochet hook. First, take out the yarn tail. Open up your left hand. Wrap the yarn tail around your little finger once. Then pull it up. Wrap it once around your index finger. Then bring it over to your middle finger. Pinch the crossing point with your thumb. Let your index finger stick up and pull the strand straight. Don't make it too loose. Don't pull too hard either, just keep it normally taut. Hold the crochet hook in your right hand, like you're holding a pen. Of course, you can also do it according to your own habits. Pass the hook through the loop. Use a hook to pull the strand over. This is the adjustable magic ring. There's a loop on the hook now. Yarn over from below the yarn. Draw it through this loop. This makes one chain stitch. Yarn over again with the hook. Pull it through the loop. These 2 chain stitches count as the beginning chains for the first round. They don't count towards the stitch count. The beginning chains set the height for this round. We need to be mindful of this. Don't pull the strand on your index finger too tight. It will make the loop on the hook too small. It'll be hard to yarn over and pull through if it's too tight. But it shouldn't be too loose either. If it's too loose, it will be difficult to catch the yarn. Don't lift the loop on the hook too high either. This will make the stitch too loose. Always keep the loop at a proper size. Let the hook move freely and pull the yarn through smoothly. Next, we need to work 12 double crochets into this ring. The technique for double crochet is yarn over. Now there are 2 loops on the hook. Pass the hook through the loop on your middle finger. Then pull the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. We need to yarn over again. Pass through the first 2 loops on the hook. There are 2 loops left. Yarn over and pass through the last 2 loops. This V shape is the stitch of the first double crochet. Beginners can place a stitch marker here. Put the stitch marker like this. 1 double crochet is now complete. We need to crochet 11 more double crochets. Continue with yarn over. Pass through this loop. Pull the thread through. There are 3 loops on your hook now. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over again and pull through the last 2 loops. This is the second double crochet. Keep it going. The third double crochet. You can see it clearly. Here, each V represents 1 stitch. The V on the hook doesn't count. Continue to finish the remaining double crochets. You can complete it by yourself. "12 double crochets. After finishing, you can count if there are 12 verses here. Count until the position where the stitch marker is placed. 12 double crochets completed. Tighten this yarn tail. This will make the loop shrink. We continue to pull it and shrink it to the smallest size. Then we need to join with a slip stitch at the first stitch to form a circle. First, take off the stitch marker. Pass the hook through the first stitch, which is where the stitch marker was placed. Bring the yarn out. Now there are 2 loops on the hook. We simply pull the front loop through the back loop. The slip stitch also forms a V, but it doesn't count in the stitch count, so we need to tighten it. Lift the hook. Pull the index finger backward, then shrink the loop back. This completes the slip stitch. This is the last stitch. If you're worried about losing count, you can also place a stitch marker here. Next, we start the second round. For the second round, we also make 2 chain stitches as the starting chains. Yarn over and pass the hook through the loop. That makes 1 chain stitch. Continue to yarn over and pass the hook through the loop for another chain stitch. These 2 chains act as the turning chain. Now, move on to the first stitch, which is the slip stitch position. Work 2 double crochets. Yarn over and pass the hook through the first stitch. Here, you need to go through both legs of the stitch to complete the entire stitch. Bring the yarn out. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again and draw through the remaining 2 loops on the hook. Place a stitch marker on the first stitch. You need to work another double crochet in the same position. So, you're working 2 double crochets in the same stitch, which is also called increasing with double crochets. After completing the 2 double crochets, work 1 chain stitch. Yarn over and pass the hook through the back loop. That completes 1 group. In the next stitch, work 2 double crochets as well. After completing the 2 double crochets, make 1 chain stitch. The second group is now complete. For the third stitch, work 2 double crochets again. After completing the 2 double crochets, make 1 chain stitch. The third group is now complete. Repeat this pattern all around the circle, making a total of 12 groups. Here, as we reach the last stitch, remove the stitch marker. Work 2 more double crochets in the last stitch. Be careful not to catch the yarn on this side. Make 1 chain stitch. The second round is now complete. In the second round, there are a total of 24 double crochets and 12 chain stitches. We can count them if needed. Each pillar represents 1 double crochet. The stitch next to the first stitch is a turning chain, which does not count towards the stitch count. So we start counting from the pillar below the first stitch, totaling 24. If the count is less, it means some stitches were missed or forgotten. If there are too many, it means extra stitches were made. This hole is a chain stitch position. Check if there's a hole between every 2 double crochets. The second round is complete. Remove the stitch marker. At the first double crochet, insert the hook through the stitch, bring the yarn through, then pull it tight from the loop behind, and tighten the slip stitch. For the next round, the third round, start with 2 chain stitches as usual. For the first stitch, which is also the joining position, work 1 double crochet by inserting the hook into the stitch. This is the first stitch. You can also place a stitch marker here for reference. Then work 2 double crochets in the second stitch. Start with 1 double crochet. Insert the hook in the same position and work another double crochet. Work 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Then chain 1, making it 1 group. This chain stitch matches the chain stitch from the previous round, so we need to skip the chain stitch and then insert the hook into the next double crochet position to continue crocheting the next group. Work 1 double crochet. In the next stitch, work 2 double crochets. Chain 1. 2 groups are now completed, and this chain stitch also corresponds to the chain stitch position of the previous round. Then work the third group on these 2 double crochets. Work 1 double crochet. In the next stitch, work 2 double crochets. Then chain 1. The pattern for this round is to have 2 chain stitches in the middle of each group, with each group increasing from 2 double crochets in the second round to 3 double crochets. The chain stitch position remains unchanged. Correspondingly, make a chain stitch, and then increase 1 stitch in each group at the double crochet position. We repeat this pattern for the entire round, which also consists of 12 groups. Note: do not forget the chain stitch between 2 groups. Everyone can complete the rest according to the pattern. The last group. One double crochet. In the next stitch, increase 1 double crochet. Finish with chaining 1. This completes the third round. Join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. For the fourth round, start with 2 chain stitches as usual. This round also increases 1 stitch per group, just like the larger one we worked on earlier. Since it's easy to remember, you increase a stitch at the end of each group, which will make the piece spiral instead of being straight. If you increase in the middle, you'll need to count the stitches. When crocheting a blanket, the number of stitches will increase significantly later on, making it more complicated. Let me teach you a simple method. In this round, you can increase by working 2 double crochets in the first stitch. First, place a stitch marker on the first stitch. Insert the hook into the first stitch and work another double crochet. With that, we've completed the increase. Work 1 double crochet in each of the remaining 2 stitches. After completing 1 chain stitch, each group will have increased from 3 stitches to 4. The next group also increases by 1 stitch. Again, work 2 double crochets in the first stitch. Then work 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. One chain stitch. For the third group, increase by working 2 double crochets in the first stitch as well. Then work 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Complete with 1 chain stitch. In reality, each group has increased from 3 stitches to 4. Continue following this pattern to complete the remaining groups. For the last group, finish with 4 double crochets and remember to make 1 chain stitch. Then join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. The fourth round is completed. Now, let's continue and start the fifth round with 2 chain stitches. In the 4th round, we increased stitches in the first stitch of each group. For the 5th round, we will increase stitches in the last stitch of each group. Work 1 double crochet for each stitch as usual. Again, place a stitch marker in the first stitch. This part won't be demonstrated again, so feel free to do it on your own. The first 3 stitches are worked as 1 double crochet in each stitch. Work 2 double crochets in the 4th stitch. Finish with 1 chain stitch, which increases the number of stitches from 4 in the previous round to 5 in this round. Similarly, for the second group, work 3 double crochets in order. Work 2 double crochets in the last stitch. Finish with 1 chain stitch. This group also increases from 4 stitches to 5 stitches. Follow the pattern for the rest on your own. For the last group, finish with 1 chain stitch as well. Start with a slip stitch in the first stitch. For the 6th round, begin with 2 chain stitches. Since the previous round had an increase in the last stitch, this round will have an increase in the first stitch. Beginners should place a stitch marker in the first stitch. Insert the hook into the first stitch and work 1 more double crochet. Then, work 4 double crochets, 1 for each corresponding stitch. Finish with 1 chain stitch. Here, each group increases from 5 stitches to 6 stitches. For the next group, add a stitch at the first double crochet position. Work 2 double crochets. Then, work 4 more double crochets, 1 for each corresponding stitch. Finish with 1 chain stitch, increasing from 5 stitches to 6 stitches again. The pattern continues in the same way from here on. You can finish the rest on your own. If you are making a blanket, you might run out of yarn midway and need to switch yarns. Let's demonstrate it again. Start by working a regular double crochet. Bring the yarn out. Now you have 3 loops. Next, you need to yarn over and drop 2 loops at a time. At this point, use your middle finger to hold the current thread from behind, then bring out the new yarn tail and place it below the current one. Pinch both together, then wrap the new yarn around and pull it through the first 2 loops. After wrapping, pass it through the last 2 loops. This completes switching colors. Then continue crocheting with the hook. Yarn over and pull through the stitch loops while keeping both ends above the hook. Place both tails on top of the crochet hook. As you crochet, the 2 tails will be hidden inside the stitches. You can leave a bit more distance for hiding. After hiding the tails for some distance, you can gently pull both yarn tails, but don't make it too tight, then cut them off. After that, we continue with normal crocheting. After completing the last group, we join with a slip stitch at the first stitch here. Next is a 7th circle. Start with 2 chain stitches. In the previous round, we increased in the first stitch. So in this round, we increase in the last stitch. First, crochet 5 double crochets in order. For the 6th stitch, work 2 double crochets. Then chain 1. This circle increases from 6 double crochets to 7 double crochets. The following groups will follow this pattern. First, crochet 5 double crochets in sequence. Work an increase on the last stitch. Finish with the chain 1. Crochet the entire round following this pattern. You can complete it on your own. After finishing the last group of the 7th round, remember to chain 1 and join with a slip stitch at the first double crochet stitch. Here we will stop at the 7th circle for now. Cut the yarn. Pull the yarn tail through the joining position to the wrong side and hide it in the fabric. The increasing pattern remains the same for subsequent rounds. You can continue crocheting until you reach your desired dimension. There are 12 double crochets in the first round, which is equivalent to 1 double crochet per group. Then, there are 24 double crochets in the second round. Starting from the second round, each group has 2 double crochets and includes a chain stitch, which will create a lace line. In the third round, each group has 3 double crochets. In the fourth round, 4 stitches per group. In the fifth round, 5 stitches per group, and so on. So, whichever round you are working on, each group will have the same number of double crochets as a round number. Let's review the increasing pattern. There are 12 double crochets in the first round, and increases start from the second round. In the third round, add a stitch at the last stitch of each group. In the fourth round, add a stitch at the first stitch of each group. Follow this pattern. On one round, add a stitch at the last stitch. On the next round, add a stitch at the first stitch. This way, the increases are staggered. From here, you can continue crocheting until you reach your desired dimension. In the next video, we'll crochet leaves and flowers.